Cascade Hoops Talk, Billy D. I'm sitting here with Jaden Lietzke, Oklahoma Wesleyan Eagle basketball.
Yes, sir.
As we sit here last night, you really came through for your team. Your team needed you. You guys beat a really tough LSUA team. They've been on a roll all season. Just talk about that game and your team, how proud you must be for how you guys came through.
Yeah, we did what our game plan. We executed well. Guys handled the pressure well, and they just let me dunk the ball at the back. They really did most of the work, and I just got to finish it.
How'd you guys get such a quick jump on them?
We had energy coming out. We were very locked in and ready to go. I think our pressure and physicality kind of messed with them, and then we were hitting shots too.
When I was wide, the first 10 minutes, I turned to somebody and I said, LSUA usually comes out in the first 5 to 10 minutes and they intimidate people because they're really physical or athletic. Mm-hmm. And I said, Oklahoma Wesleyan just did to them what they do to everybody else. And you could see the frustration, in their faces because that's typically what they do to other. Mm-hmm. But you had to go out with early foul trouble. And coach was able to keep you out the whole first half. Were you worried at that point when you got in that early foul trouble in that game?
I wasn't too worried. I kept telling him, if he needs me to go back in, I can go back in and not pick up my third. But everyone did a great job. We kind of maintained what we had going into halftime. So
yeah. So let's go backwards a little bit. You went to Rejoice Christian. Was that in Owasso?
Yes, sir.
Now, was that a small school or?
We were 2A.
Okay, you were 2A. Now, you were pretty big in high school, weren't you? Because if I go back through, you can find huddle stuff. Yeah. I mean, you've been 6'7", 210, according to them, all the way back to your sophomore, freshman year. When did you grow?
Probably in between freshman and sophomore years.
Okay.
And then I kept growing until senior year.
So I bet as a 6'7" sophomore, that must have really helped you in high school, huh?
Yeah. I don't think I was quite 6'7" sophomore. I was probably 6'4" and just kept going.
Yeah. So you're playing there at Owasso at Rejoice Christian. Same question I asked DJ is, at what point did you think, I might be able to do this college basketball thing?
My brother did, so I figured if he can go play, I can
okay,
too.
So it's like, if he does, I better, huh?
Yeah.
Yep. And so what was it? Were you recruited very heavily, or did you talk to very many schools?
My brother actually went to Oklahoma Wesleyan. So.
Oh, I didn't know that. I apologize. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so
doggone it, I got to work on my research.
Yeah. So the recruiting for Oklahoma Wesleyan was kind of different because I was kind of around a lot, going to his games and stuff and talking to the coaches all the time.
Okay.
But I could really see the culture and how they did things whenever I was there.
So you had it in your mind, maybe not 100% decided, but you had it in your mind that was probably what you were going to do. So I'm assuming then you knew what NAIA basketball was all about. Mm-hmm. So you weren't really surprised when you got there?
No, I wasn't. My brother played for 3 years before I got there. So
now you were a big guy when you went there. Were you ready, or were you surprised by the physicality when you started practicing?
I was. Mainly the speed of the game was completely different coming from a small Oklahoma school to a fast-paced NAIA school. And we get up and play too. Our style was very fast. So
what did you do to adjust? Was it just a mental adjustment, or did you physically have to do anything?
It was kind of just getting a feel for the game, kind of being in it and adjusting to it as we go.
But that was a pretty quick adjustment.
Yeah, I feel like I adjusted pretty well. It took after my freshman year, after that summer is when I really kind of started to figure it out.
So this season, everybody knows you were out for a little while. Luckily, you got back. You seem to be 100%. Everybody in the country's happy to see that. You don't want to see you guys last year struggle. I want to talk about this season because we just mentioned the KCAC was just a battle. And then you had to go to Sioux Center.
Yeah.
And then you won that first game and you were going to have to play Dort at Dort. There wasn't a lot of people, including myself, who thought you were going to come through that because not very many people survived Dort. Mm-hmm. So talk about playing at Dort and actually winning that game at Dort.
Yeah, I mean, it was a crazy game, crazy atmosphere. They packed that place out. It got super loud, and we played one of the best games we played all year, probably. Shot crazy and ended up winning by 2 at their place, which was really cool. And
It was,
got the
yeah.
Nets down there.
I said after the game or I said actually before the game, I said Gene will remember this. I said, a lot of people, this is going to be a pretty tough duty, but don't bet against Donnie Bostwick. Mm-hmm. So what was the key? If there was one or two reasons that you thought you were able to beat him there, what do you think they were?
We adjusted to the physicality really well. The refs kind of let us play.
Yeah.
And in the past, that's kind of been a problem for us sometimes, but we kind of took it and ran. Okay.
So you get out here, and you get through the first 2 games. The war, you had that war with the LSUA. You knew that was going to be a tough game, and now you're in the FAB 4. I was telling you before we started. I remember very vividly watching you last year, and when you guys fell last year, I could just sense a lot of disappointment from you, specifically that I swear I could read your mind. You were thinking we are way better than this, and you just felt like you left something on the table. So you're back now. You're to the FAB 4. What is going through your mind? Because you're getting up on the last few days of college basketball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, God's been so good getting us to where we are. And last year we were a top seed, so we kind of expected to get a little further than we did.
Right.
Compared to this year, we're more of an underdog, which has been pretty fun.
Do you think that's almost been an advantage for you?
Because I think so. Because in the past we've been higher seeds, and I was telling Coach Hartman we've been upset almost every year I've been here. But I mean,
but there is something with that number next to your name. Sometimes I know fans do, and sometimes players are like, "Oh, they're I don't know what number you are, but they're a 8 or a 9, or I think you're a 7, right?
Yeah,
if I remember
7.
right. Anyway, they're a 7. We can knock them off. I mean, and then so it gives you a little bit. And then you go out and you go up 25-5, and then the world changes. So you get to Oklahoma Wesleyan. You're playing for Donnie Bostwick, just legendary. I mean, Austin Jostin played for him. Lots of guys around the country have played for Donnie Bostwick. What has it meant to you as a person to play for Donnie Bostwick and to play for Oklahoma Wesleyan?
Yeah, more than anything, probably the spiritual aspect of it, just kind of growing in faith, kind of maturing in that aspect more than basketball, I would say.
Yeah. So what are some of the routines that you were able to build with him in that? You don't understand what I'm saying? Do you guys have chapel requirements, or how does your team do that?
We have chapel requirements, but we do like team devos and stuff.
Oh, okay, so there you go.
The main thing is it's a priority. Like we put it as a priority above basketball. So
yeah, you've got, like I say, I wanted to ask you about the fast start in Murdoch. Oh yeah, you're a graduate student, MBA in accounting, and are you a 4.0 student? I read that somewhere.
In my MBA, I am.
Oh, okay. Yep. Have you always been a good student?
Yep, for the most part.
Yeah. Sure. So where did that come from? Because it's hard to do that and play sports.
Yeah, I think it was just kind of expected from my parents. They kind of motivated me to do it and expected me to do well. So
yeah, that probably started back in high school, huh? Mm-hmm. So is that you want to go into an accounting firm or work for corporate?
Yeah, I'm going to be working in Tulsa once I'm done.
Oh, you pretty much already got it lined up.
Yep.
Awesome.
I interned last summer, so I got a job offer.
Oh, that helps. Yeah, and you can do that. So your Monday's tomorrow.
Yep.
And then Tuesday's the next day. What do you guys have to do? Where do your heads need to be? What are a couple of keys for you guys to be successful?
We've worked all year for this, so it's just basically keeping our habits the same, what we've been doing. We've been working on what we need to do for this moment right here.
Yeah. And just being yourselves. Yep. Well, I really appreciate you giving me a couple minutes. I appreciate it. That's Jaden Lietzke, Oklahoma Wesleyan Eagles basketball.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you, sir.